Hello, Loveland. I'm Mike Meldon, and this is your Loveland Weekly Podcast, brought to you by Gina Dubell-Smith, eXp Realty, and Stone Pillar Farm. Loveland, as we all know, is the convergence of three different counties: Warren, Clermont, and Hamilton County. Today, you get to hear my conversation with a big advocate for Clermont County, Bob Pautke. Bob runs two different organizations that help promote his county and the people within. One is called Connect Clermont, and the other is called Lead Clermont. Each are independent organizations, but as you will see, there is a little bit of overlap. And along with Connect Clermont, Bob does a podcast, much like my own, called Good Day Clermont, that started in May of 2023. So if you are a resident of Clermont, this is especially for you. Please enjoy my conversation with Mr. Pautke. Today is Monday, January 29th, 2024.
Hey, well, first off, thanks so much for having me here. I really appreciate it, Mike and Doug. So Connect Clermont actually goes back, historically goes back 10, 12 years. I'm a co-founder of this 501c3 nonprofit. We got our 501 in 2016, and we're a community services organization providing connections to resources that Clermont County residents and organizations in Clermont County need. And the three major focuses of those resources is about news, information. So residents told us in a county-wide resident conversations and surveys and stuff a number of years ago that they wanted access to news about events, activities, and people. Right. We are what's considered Scripps. The Scripps Foundation calls us, we're a news desert. I mean, we don't have a radio station out here. We don't have TV out here, so the coverage about Clermont County and its people is pretty limited. So they weren't being critical. Sure. It was just an observation, facts are facts. Right. And so one of the areas of focus for us, for Connect Clermont, is to provide news about activities, events, and people. So one of the ways we do that is through our Good Day Clermont podcast series. And so we started that series in May of 2023. We published 56 episodes. Awesome. In that period in 2023. We're on a rate to publish 2 episodes each week. And so...
Wow, that's a lot. That's a lot to do.
It is a lot to do, but it's extremely interesting. Yeah. And we've gotten some very nice feedback, very kind feedback. And so we try to bring on guests that talk about good news, good stuff that's going on. There's a lot of good things that happen in our county. Most of it is not understood beyond whatever the small circle of people that know about it. So news is one. Another area that residents said that they wanted, and organizations, nonprofits, every nonprofit is looking for volunteers. Sure. And so there's all this difficulty in actually finding volunteers. And there's a couple of major thematic reasons why that is. One of those reasons is people, could be like you and I at one point, said, well, I'd really like to give back to my community, but if I raise my hand to a nonprofit, are they going to lock me down for the rest of my life volunteering? And it's just not, it is true that a lot of people feel that way. Mm-hmm. It's just not true that that's how it operates. Right. So we're trying to find ways to communicate and train and educate, people like you and me and our neighbors and all, that volunteering is the glue that holds a community together. Yeah. And when you raise your hand and you go volunteer, you can volunteer at an event, you can get on a board. There's lots of reasons ways that you can do that. You're doing a good thing and you're not locked down forever. True. There's no handcuffs or jail sentences. And so also in that kind of that talent area, in addition to volunteers, is 11 to 13% of jobs in America today are in nonprofit social services kinds of areas. And that's the size of financial services industry It's really significant. And the first time I saw that research, it's like, wow, that's really true. And yet we see no real career paths in the school systems, et cetera, to get into that world. So we're working with the schools and working with Clermont County Educational Services Center, et cetera, to find ways how can we create these pathways so that students in middle and high school know that this kind of work, and it's valuable work, and it's paid work, and all of that kind of stuff. So that's two, that whole talent, the volunteers, and career paths. And then the third is really about financial. And so we've been able to give out grants over the past 3-4 years, a little bit in excess of $400,000. I mean, we were gifted some money a while back, and so we really want to give back. Just as a side, but an important note, we have no income, so there's a run rate on those dollars. So we're trying to figure out how to go about doing that. There's also awards in there, and we talked about awards and putting a spotlight on good people and good things that are happening in the county. And so we have a Connector Award that we just started in 2023 that is intended to, when we see people connecting for good reasons, that advances the society that's called Clermont County, which is a great place, by the way, is put the spotlight on them. So it's kind of like awards, both financial and otherwise. Our roots go back to what was called at the time Agenda for the Future. There were hundreds of community conversations really asking residents of Clermont County, what do you like best about our county? What's the best thing that's happened in the last 5 years? What would you like to see happen in the next 5 years? So they weren't whining sessions. It wasn't like, come on in and tell us everything you don't like. And so that really put us on a path of, okay, these are the collective things that our residents said that they wanted. There was no place that could advance that. And so Connect Clermont was created to do that, to satisfy those needs and to do the kinds of things that those three major areas that I just talked about.
And you said it's for the cohort.
Yeah, so the cohort, when I reference the cohort, that's for Lead Clermont. So that's a completely different
not connected at all.
It's connected in that one of the things that Lead Clermont talks about over the course of the 10-month program is you don't check the box just by going through this community leadership program. You go through it, and then you need to commence to lead, which is serve the community.
I love that.
So there's a total connection. It's just organizationally two different things, but they are connected.
So can you do a bridge to talk? Sure. Bridge the two together and then talk about that.
Sure. So Lead Clermont Community Leadership Program was created in the early 90s. This was long before I lived in Ohio or Clermont County. But I've had the honor of running it for the last 14 years. Community Leadership Program, 10 months. We visit different locations around the community, learn a lot about the community, and also learn a lot about leadership behaviors. But the promise that everybody that goes through that program, that cohort each year is between 28 and 30 people. A nice diversity of nonprofits, for-profits, government people. That diversity is a great strength of that program. So we talk about the promise. The promise is you're getting all of this, you're learning all these places, and you're making connections across the entire county. You need to be able to give back at the end of it.
I love that.
And so that give back is in volunteering, and I think there's a strong connection to that career path for nonprofit and social services.
Is there any cost involved to sign up for the cohort?
There is. So for Lead Clermont, that tuition for that 10-month program it's around $2,800 or $2,850. When you break that down over a 10-month period, there's meals in there. We spend an overnight 2 days up at Camp Joy, team building, and the like. So really, at the end of the day, it's a pretty cost-effective way to get training and connections.
And when do you start to take? So when does a cohort begin each year, and when does it end? And when do you start to take applications?
So the call to lead, the applications, all 12 months out of the year.
Okay, gotcha.
So the each cohort starts. The call to lead is in August of each year.
Okay.
and then their commence to lead is in May. And that's very intentional language. You're being called to lead. Are you answering the call? Are you joining the cohort? And then once you're done, you're not done.
Right.
You're commencing to lead. You got to fulfill the promise.
What are some examples of where people have fulfilled that promise? So
there's plenty of examples where they have joined nonprofit boards. So one of the things through Lead Clermont that we do is we break up into small teams and go out and volunteer and learn about a nonprofit and then come back and tell all your classmates. And so they always come back and say, here was my experience. I never even knew this nonprofit existed. And they're looking for volunteers to do this, or they're looking for board members. And so in the Connect Clermont world, to that volunteer thing, so we're trying to connect people that come out of Lead, but others. I mean, it's not exclusive, is here are the board opportunities. Here are the boards on the nonprofits across our county that need talent. So they need somebody, or they need this kind of talent. They need a financial person, or they need a marketing person, and the like. So I want to say, we moved to Clermont County. I mean, it's hard to believe it's been 20 years now, but I'm born and raised outside of New York City. But what I have found coming to Clermont County, this is a special place. I have traveled the world. I've had a blessed career. I've worked in a variety of countries, lived in a variety of places. Clermont County is different. It's unique and it's special. When I say unique, I mean in a special way. We did a branding project, and they identified really unique characteristics about Clermont, which I think is true. It's a place of welcoming and warmth. It's intertwined. People here rally around opportunity and rally around disasters like no place else that I've ever seen. And so there are other brand attributes. But I'd say Clermont is a special place, and the people that live, work, and play here hopefully understand what a special place it really is.
Hey, Loveland. It's Emily Barblow, your local publisher of Loveland Lifestyle Magazine. Just wanted to remind you guys that we love covering all of the people, happenings, and things going on in our amazing town of Loveland, Ohio. So make sure to grab your latest copy. We always drop a bunch off in downtown Loveland and surrounding areas. Or follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Everything from events to mini press releases, articles. I mean, we have so much happening here. We love covering all of the things happening. So make sure if you're not already following us on social media, you are. And stay tuned for more awesome info from Loveland Lifestyle.
Looking ahead in Loveland. This coming Saturday, Love Our Land has its book release party. It's actually a book I wrote called Josie and Doug, The Magic of Native Plants. And our party will be held at Bike Trail Books, right on the bike trail above Hometown Cafe. It's from 10 a.m. to noon, and you can purchase your book there. I'll sign a copy if you like, and Josie and Doug will be there for photos. You can even enter for a chance to win a gift basket. We hope to see you there. If you have any events that you would like me to mention or show ideas for the podcast, please reach out at mike@lovelandpod.com. We have something truly special here in Loveland. Thank you for listening, and have a great week. With the support of On Brand Studios, this episode was recorded, produced, and engineered by myself, Mike Meldon, at The Grail, a magical place here locally, like no other. Please note that the opinions expressed in the podcast do not necessarily represent the views of our sponsors or organization.